YouTube, you and I got beef. You and I got beef. I get it. I get why you took down my last video. But you weren't listening because you have robots or something listen to it. Or you have overly sensitive millennials watch your videos. But I was not breaking any community guidelines. I wasn't breaking them more than anybody else does. I just want to say, you can go on YouTube right now and type in junior high swim competition. And you'll see a bunch of underage girls or boys half naked. Okay, and I know what you're saying, well, that wasn't uploaded for that intent. It's the internet. It doesn't matter why you uploaded something. I was just watching a documentary. It was like, what is it called? It was by Vice, but it was talking about like the dark world of reality TV. And I started it because of America's Next Top Model, but there was an episode for toddlers in tiaras. And one of the moms was like, yeah, she was fully dressed and everything. She was wearing this undersuit, but that video was uploaded on the YouTube channel for the Toddlers Tiaras YouTube channel. And there was one specific part that people watch over and over and over again. And they comment the strangest things. And that obviously they didn't do anything for sexual intent, but people on the internet are gross. So, and everybody knows it. Nobody in 2020 doesn't know what the internet is being used for. This was years ago, toddlers and tiara. But now we know what the internet is used for. And to still allow people to upload gross things and not take them down because of ad revenue or something, YouTube. Talk about safety. We want a safe community. Screw out of here. If you guys cared about a safe community, you'd do something about family vloggers. Safe community. We watched, what's her name? Ruby Frank, something like that, right? Abused her children, or speak about abusing her children on YouTube publicly. And now she's facing up to 30 years in prison, and YouTube hasn't made a single comment about it. Are you kidding me? You can't even say, whoopsies, that's all bad. Because it is partially your bad. I mean, it just is. Did you guys watch the documentary? Oh my God, it's called like something, the devil Ruby Frank, whatever. It's interesting because the husband is in it, the eldest son is in it, and the eldest daughter is in it. The eldest daughter, she is done with her mother. She will never talk to her again, and she was really sarcastic and funny. I mean, she's probably, I think she's my age, maybe a little younger, but she's #real, and she essentially saved her baby siblings, sister and brothers, yeah. Helped save them, I'd say, by putting some warnings out there. The cops, how much did they do? It's interesting, not enough. But besides the point, now the son was unfortunately kind of indoctrinated into this cult. So I have nothing against him. He was like working with a therapist that Ruby was working with, right? That's also spending up to 30 years in prison. Anyways, he was with that therapist since he was like 13 or 14 years old. So I'm not shocked that at 17, he's fully indoctrinated and just listening to whatever they tell him to do, because he's a child and that's fine. The father, on the other hand, I understand adults can be brought into cults and whatnot. Fine, I get it. That doesn't mean I need to respect you. Like, yes, you may be a victim, sure, fine, and it's really unfortunate. Something I do not like forgive about adult cult people is bringing your children with you. And he kind of allowed his children to be abused in front of him. I mean, you could just tell from the beginning he was a loser. He talks about in college, when he first met Ruby, how he saw he was at this top of a list that she had written out and he was proud. He said he was a total nerd in school and everything. He says nerd. He meant to say loser, okay? And then he tells us how Ruby said, okay, I need you to leave. Leave me? Okay, fine. Fine. You want me to leave you? Fine. I mean, I can't force you to love me anymore. And leave the children and never speak to them again until I say so. This is when you say, oh, no, we need to go to court with that. That's serious because those are my kids. Obviously, if this was a different situation, yes, separate people from the kids and from their partner. Sometimes that's a total reasonable thing to do and a necessary thing to do, especially if the person is abusing the kids. But That wasn't the situation. He wasn't abusive. He allowed his wife to be abusive and did nothing to it. And then when he told him to leave, he left. And then when she called him back, he came and just followed orders. Followed orders, yeah. He's a fucking loser. His kids, 2 of his kids were malnourished. Maybe 4 of them. I think they said the 2 older ones were like okay-ish. I mean, obviously, there's no, how would I know what they are going through, right? Separated by the younger siblings and whatever stuff had gone up to then. But the 2 younger siblings were considered to be demons, locked in closets, duct taped with cayenne pepper and honey, tortured, not fed, because demons don't eat. And he says, well, yeah, I still love my wife. What the fuck is wrong with you? He's a loser. It's so crazy that even when he has this one time to clear himself, the way he's clearing himself is saying, oh, well, I didn't abuse my kids because I'm pathetic. You're a fucking loser. As soon as he left the kids, didn't speak to them for a year. What? And everyone's like, what? Whatever. Even the documenter, he's like, okay, do you ever blame yourself? And he's like, if I think about blaming myself now, I'm never going to stop thinking about that. Yeah, you should never stop thinking about it. It's partially your fault. You left. The father that leaves, those are usually not the heroes of the story. Fuck him. Whatever. What was I talking about? Why was I talking about? Oh, yeah. That was on YouTube. Usually on YouTube. Like, no, she didn't mention the cayenne pepper, but she mentioned some strange stuff on her YouTube channel. I think it was on Facebook, maybe, allegedly, and stuff as well. And YouTube could have at least taken her videos down, stopped her from uploading, but they didn't. Same thing with the young lady or the couple. What was her name? It's something like weird. It's like, it sounds like a nickname, but it's her name. Anyways, the women who had, the couple that had a whole bunch of kids, they finally decided, we're going to adopt. Okay, well, we're going to start adopting. In America, I think if you adopt, you cannot film them, post them, do anything like that for like a year. Oh, but we make millions of dollars a month from YouTube. Well, that just isn't going to work. So instead, we're going to get a Chinese baby. We're going to name them before we meet the child. The name we can think of, what's a good name? How about the widest name we can think about? Huxley, okay? Already being adopted, they're talking. I never thought of it in the way this documentary talk about it. I'll put the thumbnail on the screen or whatever for both of the documentaries I've seen, whatever. Anyways, this one is on Max, and it has like 2 different people that were actually adopted talk about, being adopted. And one of the men, he talks about, I don't remember who he's from, I forgot it. I watched it this morning at like 6 a.m. at work, okay? So my memories aren't all the way up. But he was pretty much saying like, he had a family. He obviously had a life beforehand. And like, duh, when you say like that, duh. But that perspective, I don't think is brought to mainstream attention often, because we're told, I feel like this is just in general, oh, kids don't remember anything. They're kids. Kids don't understand us. They don't feel us. They're like it. We treat little kids like dogs almost. Like you can just say anything around them and they don't understand you. And even I think dogs understand us to a degree, but besides the point. Obviously, rehoming a child, like, is going to be a lot of trauma for the child. So the kid's name, they named him Huxley. I hope he has a new name now. But the child that was named Huxley, the adoptee kid, he was super attached to his foster home in China, obviously. I mean, when you say it aloud, you're like, oh yeah, he lived there for like, I think 3 years. Duh. He comes there, he doesn't immediately like them because he's not used to it. And that's just something adoptive parents just have to deal with, I guess. Whatever, fine. But they document all of it. And maybe it's supposed to be, it's #real, and we're just being real. But then every video is about Huxley, and they're making money off of him, like sponsorships with his face attached to it. He has no way consenting. He's almost like the token Chinese adopted kid. Not almost, he was. That's what his job was. But then the way they point the story, and a lot of people I feel like say the story, it wasn't brought to our attention quite how much special needs that this child needed. Special needs this child needed. Well, you get what I'm saying. The kid, they purposely did choose to have a special needs kid, right? It's not like, you get to choose the kid you want to adopt, right? And there's some interesting stuff you can talk about that. But, it's more special needs than we expected. It's more than what they told us. Well, first of all, maybe they didn't know this extra stuff, right? I mean, it's a kid. They're growing more things show up the older they get. Like, this child was a toddler. I wouldn't be shocked that by the time he's 4 years old, more things have shown up. Duh, they didn't tell us everything. Well, maybe they didn't know everything yet. Goodness. But also, if you had a kid naturally, which she had, like multiple kids naturally, you don't know they're going to be special needs until they're out of you. That's just like a done deal. So that's why anytime the excuse is, well, they didn't tell us how much special needs he was originally, or how much help he was going to need for the rest of his life. But like, no one knows. It's a child. You don't know what they're going to be like the next day. They grow and more and more and more. If you gave birth to somebody who's going to be in a wheelchair and need assistance for the rest of their life, you don't know that before you give birth to them, usually. Maybe there's technology to tell you now or whatnot. But like, hello. So I feel like that as an excuse means nothing to me, because I'm like, you popped out 5 kids. If one of your 5 kids that came out naturally from you ended up needing additional help, would you say, oh, this is too much for us, we need to rehome him? No. She also commented somewhere that, well, he was affecting our other kids. Okay, but when you adopt a child, it's not like your kid you had birth naturally with and then the adopted child. The point of adoption is you've adopted him into your family. Like, he is your kid now. He has your last name. He has the Caucasian name you picked for him as well. You've pretty much wiped his identity. You've taken him away from what he's known. And maybe that's a good thing. Like, obviously he was up to adoption, so maybe it's good that he was brought to a different environment. I don't know. I don't know what the foster homes are like in China. I have no idea. But you sign up for it, literally. And they did show you another family that had rehomed a child once, but they didn't put it on YouTube. First of all, that's how I think. If you are going to do something with kids, don't put it online. Do something with kids. I don't mean it like that. But you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't think kids need to be extremely documented, because we've never lived yet where kids are this documented and how it's all released out there. Like, I don't think that has not existed in the past 20 years. This is brand spanking new. There's not been this much access to children content. It's fucking weird, okay? We're pretending like it's normal because we're growing with it, but it's not normal, okay? Because in the 90s, they weren't seeing what a 2-year-old across the country was doing regularly. Whatever, besides the point. The main issue with even the other family that didn't document anything, and so at least they weren't taking advantage of the child they adopted. This was the second kid they had adopted, second kid that was special needs. They did the first one, and the way they said it, well, we wanted to get someone that was more like, that needed to be adopted. Like, not one of the kids that was going to be adopted, obviously, because they're not special needs. We wanted to get someone that was, like, less likely to get adopted. It's like this built-in hero complex. That's what it is. It's a savior complex. And both of these are the kids we've mentioned so far who's been adopted happen to be POC children. And the adoptees happen to be Caucasian. So what type of savior complex is this exactly? White savior complex. And I'm not saying it's the worst thing to adopt outside of your race. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm sure someone's written about it by now. But to kind of say, well, I wanted to get someone that most likely wasn't going to get adopted if it wasn't for me. I don't know. Who thinks like that? That's so odd to me. Like, if you really want to help children, I don't know, donate. Join a soup kitchen, okay? Become a teacher, become a special needs teacher, become a nurse, become a pediatrician. I mean, there's other ways to help children than adopting them and then eventually rehoming them. And maybe you could argue, well, this girl, the YouTuber, we're going back to the YouTuber that adopted him and has rehomed him now, Huxley. He's at this place where she's an actual professional. And so in a way, he would have never met his new family if it wasn't for the YouTube in between. And that may be true. So I guess that can be the single positive. My point is, it's crazy YouTube lets her make money off of it for so long. And then finally, Ryan's world. This guy is a multi-millionaire child posting stuff on YouTube, and maybe that's fine, but I don't know, laws are gonna have to change about the way we use children on the internet. It's fucking weird. It's fucking weird. And maybe Ryan has a great life. Like, I don't know. We know nothing. I don't think I know. I don't watch his YouTube. There are memories I will never get back because of I just deleted on my phone for more space so I can keep talking at you guys. My point is, in the video that was taken down, it was the why I blocked Emma Chamberlain video. And in the beginning, I give a content warning and everything. And I talk about body image and where I'm at right now. And they were like, you're promoting anorexia. No, I'm not. I'm not promoting anything. I'm saying what I feel. You can't talk about feelings anything anymore, YouTube. And I wasn't whatever. I don't want to say anything more. Although, take this down too, won't ya? Big man, you feel special? I think the CEO is actually a woman or something, but my point still stands. I'm pissed. Whatever. YouTube wants a whole bunch of AI-generated bullshit anyways, and when the robots inevitably take over the earth and we are living on a rock filled with old Shein clothing, none of this will matter anyways. Sorry, I always go on such a sad tangent. Let me think, is there anything positive to say? Yes, tomorrow I'm doing my first ever stand-up. There's an open mic event happening, and I'm going to stand up. I'm going to talk, and I'm going to tell jokes. I'm going to tell a story, and I hope people laugh in between it. We'll see. I'll let you guys know how it is. If it's terrible, be ready for that story time. If it's great, then woohoo. I feel like I have so much to tell you guys, but I'd hate to go on some passionate story, and then it's, it's like, oh, you used all your space. So I think this is the vibe to end it. I'm sorry I just came on here to complain. And I'm also sorry for being gone for so long. I wish I had a good reason. There's so much fucking cat hair. I wish I had a good reason. It really is just because I forgot. I literally just forgot. But I'm back. I'm going to be uploading stuff here and on RSS, which means you can get this on anywhere you stream your content, your podcasts, which is Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Is there anything else? But that's what it's going to be now as well. Probably. Yeah. We'll do it. Yeah. Anything else? Oh, I already said follow me on everything, didn't I? Why was I saying follow me on stuff? Was I already saying goodbye? I don't remember. I was in a rush of deleting things. I have so much pictures. As I was going through them, I was like, yikes, girl. This is crazy. There's so much screenshots of like yaoi I have to read. So slowly, I'm going to read every single yaoi, and then I'll be able to delete those screenshots, and I'll be able to record a video, and we're not going to have to stop in the middle of it. And yes, if you remember way back when I bought a camera, it only records for like 15 minutes or something at a time. So if there is a camera out there that maybe I should purchase, let me know. It better be cheap. If it's not cheap, then you've lost your goddamn mind. Subscribe.